Welcome back to Lead Between the Lines and the final episode of the Powerline mini-series. So you've set your bottom line, you've drawn a line in the sand, and now it's time to cross the line. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest shifts you'll make on your journey, moving from external validation to inner expansion. This is where you shed the need for outside approval and discover what it means to truly source your power from within. So you've already drawn your line in the sand, but today we're crossing that line. We're leaving behind anything that's kept you tethered to outside opinions, approval, standards, and expectations. This is where you transition from holding your standards as external ideals to living them internally as an integral part of who you are. I believe that true power can only be sourced from within. And when you're building power from the inside out, you're no longer relying on anyone else to validate your worth, your vision, or your path. You become unshakable because your foundation is built on who you are, not on what others expect from you. External power is an illusion. It's fleeting and contingent on factors outside of your control. But self-sourced power, that's permanent. It's the strength that comes from knowing exactly who you are and what you stand for. It doesn't waver, and it doesn't bend to fit anyone else's narrative. Self-sourced power is what sustains you through challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. It's the kind of power that amplifies as you grow and evolve. So as you cross the line today, you're moving from a place where you might have needed others to cheer you on to a place where your power comes from your own inner fire. You're not just waiting for approval. You're acting from a space of pure authenticity, where what you think and feel matters more than any outside opinion. This is the essence of inner expansion. When you're rooted in self-sourced power, something incredible happens. You begin to experience inner expansion in a way that changes everything. This expansion occurs through three powerful forces: calibration, amplification, and co-creation. These aren't just concepts. They're the mechanics of how your power can grow exponentially when sourced from within. Calibration is about continually raising your own frequency. It's about aligning with the higher standards and choosing to operate at a level that demands more from you. When you source your power internally, you're naturally drawn to others who operate at a high frequency, and this becomes a mirror that raises your own. But remember, true calibration doesn't happen when you're relying on others for validation. It happens when you meet their energy with your own grounded, unshakable power. And then when you've done the work of developing prowess, your power amplifies in the presence of other powerful individuals. Ego resists the amplification process because it fears being overshadowed. But self-sourced power isn't about ego. It's about rising together. When you're rooted in your own power, the strength of others no longer feels like a threat. It feels like an opportunity to grow. Power strengthens power. And when you're truly aligned with your inner source, that amplification creates a synergy that propels you further than you could go alone. Co-creation is where the magic happens. It's not just about your journey. It's about how your self-sourced power can elevate those around you. When you're fully operating from your own inner strength, you're contributing to a collective rise. A rising tide rises all ships, and this is how you transition from self-mastery to having a broader impact. Co-creation is where you realize that by empowering yourself, you're setting a foundation for others to do the same. And you're also setting a foundation for you to rise in other areas of your life. So let's say that you really grasp this concept with regard to your career or business. Once that becomes solid, you begin to expand that. So the amplification not only goes deeper, but it also goes wider. So it begins to affect other areas of your life. And just like your meeting power is going to rise everyone around you, it also rises all areas of your life. When you source your power from within, you're no longer looking around to see who's watching. You're building a force that naturally raises the frequency, amplifies the strength, and invites co-creation wherever you go. And as you continue to expand from within and cross the line into self-sourced power, there's one more reality you need to prepare for. Not everyone will be comfortable with your newfound strength. In fact, some may even feel threatened by it. When you radiate true power, it can disrupt the dynamics around you. And it's essential to be ready for this so you're not caught off guard or tempted to shrink back. So here's the thing. Power makes people uncomfortable, especially when they haven't cultivated their own. The moment you step fully into your own energy, you'll naturally shine a light on where others may be playing small. This doesn't mean you're intentionally causing the discomfort, but your presence alone will make them confront what they haven't yet addressed within themselves. And that's okay. You're not here to play small to keep others comfortable. Becoming unapologetically powerful doesn't mean you're overbearing or arrogant. It means you're no longer hiding. For some, your authenticity and intensity will be magnetic. They'll be drawn to your strength because it resonates with something they're ready to awaken in themselves. But others may resist, criticize, or even distance themselves because your power threatens the status quo. Prepare for this and remember, their reaction is about them, not you. I will tell you from experience that the curation of how I wanted people to see me that I shared in a previous episode was deeply rooted in my discomfort for the projections of others and the threat that they saw my power as. I created a slightly less powerful version to avoid projection. And the sad thing is that it didn't really avoid anything that I wanted it to. Instead, it delayed my goals and vision for years. Playing small for others or any resistance to your own power doesn't accomplish what you intend it to. In fact, it backfires. Standing in your power will make some people uncomfortable. That's not your problem to solve. It's their mirror to face. When you feel that tension from others, or when you notice their discomfort or hear their criticism, take a breath and remember this. You're not responsible for their feelings. Your only responsibility is to stay aligned with your truth. And this might mean that you have to let some relationships evolve or even fall away as you grow. But what you gain is far greater. A life lived without compromise, fully rooted in who you are. So as you cross the line, commit to standing firm. Don't apologize for the power you're stepping into. Let those who feel threatened either rise to meet you or choose their own path. This is your journey, and it's not meant to be dictated by anyone else's comfort level. Remember, your job isn't to dim your light. It's to shine so brightly that you illuminate the path for others who are willing to step into their own power. Crossing the line means you're done borrowing standards from anyone else. Power has no negative comparison in its repertoire. It's about cultivating your own metrics for success, fulfillment, and growth. And when you source power from within, you're no longer swayed by the standards others have set. You're setting the bar for yourself. based on your own values and vision. It's a shift from reactive to proactive living. So take a moment to think about the standards you've been holding. Are they truly yours, or have you adopted them from someone else? Now's the time to define what success, growth, and mastery look like on your terms. So from here on, it's about living to your own standards with such clarity that you don't need to check in with anyone else. You know exactly where you're going and how to get there. Self-source power isn't just an abstract idea. It's the key to true freedom. It's what allows you to act from a place of inner authority. When you're internally driven, your actions are no longer a response to the world. They're a manifestation of your own inner truth. Every move you make, every goal you set, every boundary you draw, it all comes from a deep, authentic place from within. Ask yourself, what does it look like to live from your own power every single day? What shifts when you decide that your energy, your motivation, and your standards come from within? Commit to crossing this line and building your life around an inner expansion that never stops growing. The greatest freedom is living from your own truth, powered by your own standards. This is where you cross the line into a life driven by inner expansion, and nothing can pull you back. So as we wrap up this Powerline mini-series, I want to highlight something essential. Each of these lines isn't just a standalone concept. They're deeply interconnected, each reinforcing and building upon the others to create a powerful, self-sustaining cycle of growth and transformation. And whether you're raising your bottom line, standing on your front line, or making a bold leap to jump the line, drawing a line in the sand, or crossing the line into self-source power, each action you take impacts all of the others. This is a holistic power of integrated transformation. So let's recap. We started with your bottom line, the standards you set for what you're willing to accept. This was your foundation, your anchor, and as you progressed, each subsequent line has built on this. And when you cross the line into deeper self-source power, it inevitably raises your bottom line. You begin to see new thresholds for what's possible, and as a result, your baseline for what you tolerate or demand in your life naturally shifts upward. Then we attacked the front line. So your front line is where you began to stand firmly in your standards, putting action behind those words. And as you move through each stage, holding firm on your front line provides the resolve needed to cross the line later on. Without the strength developed on your front line, it would be nearly impossible to stand in the power required when you encounter resistance or feel the need to retreat. In Jump the Line, you made a bold leap beyond incremental growth, challenging yourself to reach further. But this leap isn't just a one-time event. It's a commitment to continuous growth that both fuels and is fueled by other lines. It takes a solid bottom line to support a bold leap and a strong front line to maintain it. Every time you jump, you're reinforcing the entire structure, propelling each line upward in tandem. Drawing a line in the sand was about making an unwavering commitment. This line is the turning point, the decision to hold yourself to a higher standard and embrace a new level of prowess over ego. Here, you reinforce your boundaries, knowing that they will fortify your bottom line and your willingness to cross new lines in the future. It's all about reinforcing your inner resolve so that you never fall back to the old patterns. Finally, crossing the line is about living from an internal source of power, one that isn't swayed by external validation. This level of self-source power elevates everything that came before it. When you're truly living in your own power, your bottom line rises. You're more resilient on your front line. You're prepared to jump the line with confidence, and you're firm in the line you've drawn in the sand. Crossing the line isn't an endpoint. It's a new beginning that pushes every other line higher. Each line you cross creates a space for another to rise. It's not a ladder with separate rungs, but a seamless, interwoven cycle. Holding one line allows you to reinforce another, and together they create a foundation that's unbreakable. This process is about becoming someone who doesn't just set standards, but lives them internally and externally. It's about creating a life where you're continuously evolving, expanding, and embracing new possibilities. Remember, transformation is a lifelong process. You're not just ticking off boxes. You're creating a dynamic, ever-evolving framework that supports you as you continue to grow. Each line will call you to rise, to refine, and to recommit. And as you honor this framework, you're building a legacy grounded in self-mastery, authenticity, and unshakable power. This is just the beginning of what you're capable of. Now it's time to live it fully. You've crossed the line, but this is just the beginning. From here on, your journey isn't about what you can accomplish, but about who you can become. You're no longer just setting standards, you're living from them. You've stepped into a space of self-sourced power, inner expansion, and now it's about how far you're willing to take it. If you loved this series and you're not quite ready for it to end, I have good news. You can access even more and go even deeper with the secret episodes. These next 3 episodes are all about exploring authenticity, vision, and audacity, the hidden layers that will propel you further than ever before. So here's how you unlock them. Download the Reinvention Roadmap and upgrade to the 21-day Accelerator Bundle, and you'll instantly gain access to these secret episodes. And it doesn't stop there. Any additional episodes I add in the future will be yours automatically. So before you go, if this series resonated with you, I'd love for you to leave a review. It not only helps others find us, but it also lets me know what's landing. And if there's a woman in your life that you admire, share this series with her. We rise together, and you never know who might be ready to jump the line and join you on this journey. Thanks for being here, and remember, this journey is only the beginning. You're no longer held back by outside validation. You've crossed the line, and now it's time to expand from the inside out. Welcome to the next chapter of your power.